Clark Teuscher from the NCC Sports Information Department joins us now. Clark, good to have you here.
Great to be here.
Track's been the theme of the day so far, and it'll stay that way just a little bit longer. The 12th ranked Cardinal women get second place in the Cardinal opener, and out of it come a CCIW Athlete of the Week.
Yeah, the team they finished second to was the #1 team in the country this week, so certainly is some top competition in the season opener. Sheila Walsh, one of our sprinters, was the Conference Athlete of the Week. She won the 400-meter dash, provisionally qualified for nationals. She's been on some relay teams before that provisionally qualified, but was never on the list in an individual event, so certainly a good way to start the season for her.
And on to hoops, the women's basketball team. A tough road win in Rock Island, really balanced scoring attack.
Yeah, it's been a team that we've had some success with, but it's never been easy. I think we had 3 double-figure scores in that game. Came right down to the end, made some clutch plays, and almost made it 2 in a row against Elmhurst on Tuesday night.
And yeah, earlier this week, the Elmhurst game, Jackie Rico obviously had a big night, pouring in 23, I believe it was, but they fall short, forcing overtime, coming back in the second half, but couldn't close it.
Yeah, it was a great job to come back and force the extra session, and looked like they might overtake them there a little bit. They just had a couple of possessions where we weren't able to convert, and Elmhurst was, and they were able to come away with a hard-fought victory. And
on the men's side, Todd Raridan's squad, a big win for them up in Kenosha on the road against a very tough team. Yeah, Carthage was in the Sweet 16 last year in the national tournament. Had a lot of optimism surrounding this season. Things haven't quite gone the way they wanted them to. North Central was able to go up there and erase a 9-point deficit in the second half to pick up the win. They held the defending Conference Player of the Year to 10 points. So certainly defense has become the calling card for this team, which you wouldn't have necessarily thought a couple of months ago. Yeah, they've defended very well. They did lose to Augustana on the road, but as we look at this, 4-2 in the CCIW, we could really be looking at a CCIW tournament team. Well, they're tied for second place right now with Illinois Wesleyan, who they lost to in overtime on the road earlier this year. They've got a game against Elmhurst on Wednesday night, a team that they swept last year, and will be looking to do the same this year. What do you think the difference is? I mean, you talk about a team that really lost a lot scoring-wise coming into this season. Some younger guys have really stepped up. I think that's been it. You got a group of guys learning how to play together, and everybody kind of understanding their roles and where they fit into the whole thing, and having a regular rotation now where they were really trying out a lot of different lineups and seeing what worked and what didn't work. And when stuff doesn't work, things aren't good for your team. So they've been able to sort all of that out and really put together some strong performances. And moving to the mat, the Cardinal wrestlers continue their success with a dual meet win, and they really jumped up pretty high in the polls. Yeah, a hard-fought victory over Elmhurst in dual competition last weekend to complete a 3-0 run through their conference dual meet schedule. They moved up from 27th to 19th in the National Coaches Association rankings. So certainly some people sat up and took notice of the fact that they were able to put Elmhurst down. Elmhurst is ranked 24th. They've got a big tournament coming up this weekend, the Pete Wilson Invitational at Wheaton College. It's one of the biggest tournaments in the Midwest. Nathan Fitzenreiter is a defending champion at 133, so we'll see if he can make it 2 in a row. And you kind of beat me to the punch a little bit there. The event we'll be at this weekend is the Pete Wilson, and obviously some big names there. Who are some of the competition that North Central is going to see team-wise? Well, several of the Wisconsin State schools will be in. Obviously, most of the teams that we compete against in our regional will be there. There's a couple of schools from out west that will come in, some Division II opponents, Wisconsin Parkside, Indianapolis. So certainly a pretty large variety. There's going to be about 30 schools there total, and so it's just the top wrestler at each weight class from each team. So it's going to be, you're going to be up against some heavy hitters regardless of the weight class. So it's one of those that we're really going to find out who's going to come to play on the big stage. It'll tell us a lot about where we're at in terms of our top 10 guys. And next week, I know the athletic department over at North Central putting on an event. I know they did it last year as well for the National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Why don't you just tell us about that a little bit? Well, that's something that the athletic department's been doing for the last several years now. The first Tuesday in February, we have a luncheon where it's a celebration of the growth of women's sports and women's role in athletics in general. And this year we'll be having a panel discussion with 4 of our former athletes, ranging from, I believe, the class of 1974 to just athletes who competed last year, just to kind of discuss how the growth, how women's sports has grown to the level where it's basically on a par with the men's sports in terms of opportunities that are available to athletes. It's certainly a great thing that North Central has been able to do. They've been at the forefront of
providing opportunities for women's athletics as time has gone on, and it's certainly an appropriate place to do it.
Well, Clark, we appreciate you coming by.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you for watching this edition of the Cardinal Report. Tune in next week when the Cardinal wrestlers step on set. I'm Alex Simmons. We hope to see you then.